you know. But yeah, you know, I think it's kind of cool, you know, in its own ways that there's an infinite incarnation that is an expression of each and every, what I see as each and every angel. Doesn't matter if you're talking about a divine spark from heaven or if you're talking about Hades Titan blood. It doesn't matter, okay? You know, right, you're right. You know, I'm just, you know,
That's funny.
I could be a comedian, but like I would have to choose my audience. Okay, I really would.
It's not. You need the audience. People aren't gonna get that,
bro. And see, here's the thing. Like I promise you, like if I get a little bit better at banter, like don't get me wrong. If I start talking serious, that shit's a TED Talk. Okay, but I know some of the realest comedians that could sit there and they could put themselves up on the stage, and because they were so good at banter and just being able to make a joke about their life experiences, they were able to get a message out, bro. And comedy isn't what it used to be. It is about saying what you believe, and it is going to be the hardest thing for everyone to hear. And honestly, the way I feel is like if that is the hardest thing for everyone to hear, then I make sure at least once a day, if I truly go outside and I interact with people. You know, I scared the shit out of a man today because it's almost Halloween. It was fucking hilarious.
So why? What did you do?
Did you know in the book of Enoch it says that all women in the end of days would be succubuses? That's forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
That's okay. But guess what? It made her laugh, didn't it? Fucking loved it. It was funny. Yeah, he's like, my cabbages! But anywho, and you know, I had a great day. You know, I went to the bank. You know, I got to talk to the teller lady. Got to tell her about the spooky mystery behind the Revelation 22:16. You know, just spread knowledge because you know I looked at her and I'm like, man, you definitely look like a fallen angel. You look like a fucking atheist. So I'm just gonna sit here and jabber about this Jesus shit the whole time. She's sitting there saying, yeah, man, spirituality, it's crazy. And I'm just sitting there like, you have no fucking clue, child. And that's just in my head, you know, and I'm just over here bantering with her. I'm like, but yeah, man, I can't believe that homeless guy when he told me about Jesus' angel. And then I told her the verse, and then she went and wrote it down. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think it's shut up. It's kind of driving me crazy. You know, plant the seed, dog. Like, sometimes people want a mystery, you feel me? Sometimes there's certain people that, you know, they got to go looking for it for themselves. Some people you can't tell them. And then you meet some people and you do tell them.
Yep.
And then
that's how I do it.
Like, and then they look at me, then they look at you and they say, all right, I believe you, but what next? And you're over here like, listen though, homie, this is not a cult. Okay? This was simply to help you find yourself. And Jesus in the process. Jesus is just a piece of it. Okay? But once you had one piece of the puzzle, okay, ready? Life's a puzzle incomplete, but everybody is a piece. Through empathy and human kindness will be the change we wish to see. This is our world and the revolution has begun. With open hearts we can see ourselves in everyone. Come and join us in a revolution of love. You know, and that's what it's about. And here's the thing. Is when I studied the word and I studied the religions and I found the validity in all of them. When I saw my mom, a Hindu god. When I saw my father, my true father, my all-father, a Greek god, do you hear me? And when I saw my earth father sitting in heaven, Jesus holding a guitar, I confused him with the beast. Do you understand? But I was looking.
I think you're talking to some deceiving shit, bro. That's what I think.
Olympus was amazing, man. It had no material possessions. I was led to my door Hear me out, bro. I was led to my door. I was led to my door by the triple moon goddess. But there was only two. The two phases of the moon. They looked like my daughters. One was black, one was white. The black one had red gingery hair and the white one had blonde. That could be vice versa.
What are you even talking about?
Anywho, heaven, Olympus.
What are you even talking? Yeah, well,
when I found
it just sounds like I don't know, bro.
When I found that validity and I came back to this place and I saw the time dilation, I was tested my grit. Okay, when I got here, all right, I handed that officer my ID, my updated ID that I have today. Okay, I handed him my ID. This is when I cut this shit up, bro. I cut it up and I started wandering with no name. Okay? Who the fuck am I? Because when I was in heaven, she just told me I was Adam. And I had 2 seconds to think what my actual name was. Or this Officer Michael, this blue-eyed Officer Michael was going to take me to jail for lying to him and having a fake ID. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? I was in Ohio.
I know, I remember the story, man, you told me.
Bro,
I had a dream about the Archangel Michael, and then Trump posted a tweet about it the day after.
I gave them my first name, okay? What popped up in the system was ADAM.
I know, bro, you told me. I mean...
It blew my mind. And then they put me up in a hotel, and there I go meet this brown-eyed individual who I had met in just a different vessel, body, flesh, okay? This brown-eyed character met me at that hotel that this Angel Michael paid for to put me up there for 3 days to a week, depending on what he could figure out what to do with me. I ran from that hotel. Do you hear me? When I ran from the hotel and the police caught me, they admitted me to the 5th floor, or the 3rd floor, whatever that was. What do you mean, what they're gonna do with me? Okay? I was realizing I was in hell. Do you understand? I was realizing that those little stories that my brother told me as a kid, I'm gonna eat your brains. Those little stories about being a zombie, or those little stories about, hey, I sold your soul to the devil for a penthouse by the lake of fire. And maybe the devil would probably only access my brother because maybe when my mom and dad had sex, they had 2 full-blooded heirs. And those 2 full-blooded heirs were the embodiments of my mother and my father. Living experiences, still alive, even if my mom and dad's lives were cut short by whatever causes. Okay? Holy or not. Okay? And so I found validity, you hear me, in all those stories. Suddenly I started making friends. You hear me? And those friends, they were baffled by my existence because for some reason they knew who I was, but I didn't know who I was. But they were glad to have me in their life, like a little genie. Okay. Suddenly people started making Baphomet sigils and burning candles and cutting their fucking hands to it and doing really cool shit, you know. Yeah. And suddenly I would answer their prayers by being the guy who shows up to buy their weed. Do you hear me? The guy they wanted to rob. The guy they wanted to take his
operating in dark places, man. Not good. Cut that shit out.
You know, if I may say, I do a lot for Jesus. That's perspective, yeah.
Can't be on both sides.
You're right. Here's the reason why I won't go to the City of Angels like they're calling me to do. Okay, here's the reason I'm going to stay in my hometown. Because I have a vendetta with that church. Okay? And it's not a vendetta. Okay? I want to buy that church one day. You hear me? It was the first church my mother had ever taken me to. I have a
What are you going to do with it?
Well, there's a sign that they take up and take down. That sign says, "Death through Adam, life through Jesus." I'm gonna buy that church one day. You hear me, bro? That's my dream. That's my dream. That's the reason I don't go to church. Okay? Is because there's every church I've been to, and I've asked for them to tell me the truth, and if they believe in Jesus Christ, there is some churches that will submit to my knowledge. And every single church submits to the Vatican. They have to. Do you hear me? They have to pay in their tithes in order to be ordained. Do you hear me? It does not matter what sect. Do you hear me, my brother? So Christianity is very demonic. You are right. Yes, that's what I'm trying to prove. You hear me?